Chewy, and Stella present Catnip helps people too, and I'm one of them. An easy way to remember its scientific name is to pronounce it like I do, Nepeta cataria, pet cat. Here's why we can benefit from this common weed, plus information about a cousin that's useful as well. All above ground parts of catnip, leaves, stems, and flowers, are edible. These non-native plants have a long growing season and prefer sunny areas. I filmed these in November, and they were still green, even though they were in the shade and had experienced a few frosts. They're members of the mint family, which means they spread and can take over an area. Their stems are square, and their heart-shaped scalloped leaves are opposite. They're soft and velvety, like the back of a cat's ears. Fresh leaves have a strong smell. Good news! Deer don't seem to like plants in the Nepeta genus. Plants start to wilt as soon as they're picked, but that doesn't matter to me, as I plan to dry them anyway. However, they'll perk up if placed in water. You can buy dried catnip in pet stores, but who knows how old those leaves are? I'd rather use leaves from my garden because I know they're fresher, even when they're dried. Their tiny flowers bloom in July. They're tubular and whitish pink, with delicate markings inside. The topmost ones cluster in a spike, and the others grow at the branch tips along the main stem. My cats like to eat the blossom bunches, fresh or dried, and I add a few of them to salads. But make sure to leave some for these pollinators. They're hungry too. This common weed makes most domestic cats act really weird, and even some larger wild cats as well. Very young kittens most likely won't respond to it. They might once they become older. What causes cats' positive response is the presence of an aromatic oil in these plants. About 75% of cats are affected due to an inherited trait, but not all cats react to it. My two cats enjoy these plants, especially when the leaves are dried. Usually they become playful, they eat it and roll around, but sometimes they act frenzied, protective, and not very happy about sharing. Who knows what they're imagining? The effects don't last long. They seem to know when to quit, and soon afterwards they cuddle up and sleep next to each other. Recent studies suggest catnip is not only pleasurable for cats, but its main purpose may be to protect them from mosquitoes. By chewing these plants, cats release a chemical which repels those insects. Some scientists say catnip is as effective as DEET. Maybe it'll work for people too. My granddaughter rubbed a leaf on her skin as protection, and these insects left her alone. A better solution is to make a strong tea and put it in an atomizer. Then, if bothered by mosquitoes, spray it on exposed parts of the body, like Chloe is doing here. I don't eat catnip leaves uncooked. Their taste is mediocre. I dry them in a cool place. Although consuming catnip doesn't make people euphoric, I make a tea from their dried parts, which may act as a mild sedative to help with sleep and stress. If possible, collect leaves before the plants flower. Use 1 heaping teaspoon dried leaves to 1 cup of hot water. Cover and let steep for about 10 minutes. Cool it down and strain out the vegetation. Its flavor is mild. To make it stronger, add more dried leaves or let it infuse longer. Celestial Seasonings makes a tea which includes catnip as one of its ingredients. This inspired me to combine catnip with other fragrant herbs like linden and chamomile when I brewed my tea. I prefer it with these additions. Catnip has many medicinal uses. Check out other YouTube videos for more in-depth information. There's another plant in the Nepeta genus, which is more popular with people, and I can see why. It's a long-lived perennial and easy to grow. Catmint is often found in private and public gardens, even though it's non-native. This thriving group at Smith College includes several different species. Although both cat plants are edible, I use catnip as a medicinal, and I prefer catmint as an edible. Catmint leaves aren't as soft or as large as those of catnip, but they smell delightful. Their aroma is soothing. Inhale their fragrance as a form of aromatherapy. They taste as good as they smell. I don't cook them. Instead, I put them in salads or in smoothies. Dried ones make a pleasant tea. Follow the same directions I used for the catnip tea. Both teas are caffeine-free. The fragrant and edible lavender flowers of some catmint varieties bloom in May, long before those of catnip, which bloom later. These catmint flowers, of course, end up in my salads. They're an excellent source of nectar for pollinators like this bee. And what about catmint's effect on cats? It seems this cat loves it and can't get enough. I tried it with mine to see how they'd react. Neither cat liked the fresh plants. Perhaps their smell wasn't enticing enough. They were more enthusiastic when I gave them dried leaves. Chewy wasn't as excited as Stella, who relaxed and thoroughly enjoyed herself. These two cat plants and my two cats get along fine. Maybe you'll enjoy them too. Have fun! This is the end. Now it's catnap time.